So in this video, I'm going to talk about background checks. I did some research, and there's a lot of information I couldn't find because I want answers. But some of the answers that I were able to find is, well, if you do a background check on yourself, don't be surprised about what you might see. Fortunately, I didn't find anything about myself that was alarming. But my sister and my mom did a background check on my wife. Forgive my cold. They told me that my wife had been convicted of shoplifting in her early 20s. And my sister was, I don't know, she was just really bent out of shape about it. And they were making it sound like it was really serious. I thought to myself, well, she did this when she was young. I mean, there's a lot of people who have probably done shoplifting. Probably a lot of people who didn't get caught. And I've known people like my sister and others who have done a lot of things that they probably regretted. It just goes with the territory. So I was trying to find out from my sister what site it was that this was on, because my wife has had jobs that are very likely to have hired her if she had shoplifting on her background. But we wanted to check because my wife was adamant. She didn't have any kind of criminal conviction, except for, maybe driving without registration for a little bit. And my wife and I did a search because my sister wouldn't tell me anything, and I found that suspicious. I think anyone would. Like, okay, you tell me these allegations and you don't share with me the name of the place. Because obviously, if it's a bogus charge, you can contact the municipal place where it took place. Maybe you might have to pay $65 to see that record. But to get it off the background site, if in fact it's not true, you send that information with a letter to that site and you ask them to remove it, because if they don't, then you will sue them. Well, the site that we thought it might have been on, it had a blurred out picture of my wife's Facebook page. We thought, well, that's kind of weird, because you would think these background checks might have, mugshots or something. But I didn't think that this site that we looked at was at all credible. I shared some information with my mom saying, had some of the complaints that people made about this site. And my mom had a conversation with my sister, regrettably, because for some reason my sister decided to send her flying monkeys at me just because of this conversation I had with Mom. And she was like, that site is legit. And those comments that you showed were a bunch of nitwits who didn't read the terms of agreement. And she still refused to tell me what site it was. So I figured that my sister is lying because she won't tell me. I mean, otherwise, why wouldn't she tell me? So my mom had to look at the bill, and she told me what site it was. And what my wife ended up doing is paying to view both of these sites that we thought were in question. The one my mom mentioned and the one that we thought it might have been as well. These sites were identical with the information and I think the format. It might as well have been the same sites. Spokeo and Truthfinder. My wife looked at her information on both of these pages, and they collaborated what my wife said. They didn't collaborate what my sister said, except for, yes, my wife did plead guilty to the offense, which was not shoplifting. It was, a traffic criminal, the registration. And then there was the fine. That information, was the same as what my sister said. So I was thinking to myself, my sister's full of it. And then, of course, my wife checked my sister's background check. Whoa, people who live in glass houses should not throw stones. And then we checked her husband's, and his was even worse. So that was very concerning. And I was thinking to myself, does my mom know about this? Anyways, my wife sent me the information. She did a print screen because the site tries to get you to pay for you to print. You can get around it by doing a print screen and pasting it onto a document or a bitmap, and then you can just print it out from there. A lot of these sites, they will try to gouge you. They will get new information, and then they'll charge you extra for it. Every little thing, to print out the information, they'll charge you extra for it. If it says 95 cents for 2 days, with Spokeo, be careful, because within the hour, they will charge you the monthly rate, which is $29.99 or something like that. Then you call them and they say, well, did you read the terms of agreement? Yes, I did. I paid the 95 cents for 2 days. You charged me the month fee within the hour. I want my money back. And they immediately will give you a hard time about it. So my wife told them, that's okay. It hasn't cleared my card. I will contact them and I will cancel all charges that you are applying on there. And I guess the site was trying to block her from viewing the information, but she had already saved it. Then with the other site, they didn't pull that stunt with her. But the information was the same, and viewing the information that my wife sent me, it wasn't altered or edited, and I had to come to the conclusion that my sister was lying to me because I was suspicious that she didn't tell me what site it was, and my mom had to tell me. But later on, I find out from my mom that my sister sent her the information that she viewed, and I thought to myself, well, why didn't anyone send me the information that they saw? Do I have to get on there and see it for myself? Because I don't think that my wife had the capability of editing this information because she was at the library. She didn't have Photoshop. I don't even think my wife knows how to use Photoshop. But questions that I have is, do these background sites change the information that you see according to who's viewing it? Is this a gimmick to make it look like your family members have derogatory information on them, and then when they view it, it's not there? I question that. What my mom suggested is that the information that her and my sister saw, they probably changed that before my wife viewed the information. And I don't know, because it just seems suspicious. It seems odd. If anyone is able to clarify that. And how does this derogatory information show up on there anyways? So what I've heard is that this happens because of security breaches, like with Equifax or something. Identity theft, that kind of thing. They search, these background places search sites on the dark web or the deep web, and it's like, Why are they searching for information on there? Because why would that be considered credible? And another thing is they say, well, it could be mistakes because they value quickness and efficiency over accuracy when they enter the information on there, and then they don't go back and correct that information. Basically, the onus is on you to see it and fix it, and that means that you have to pay the money to view it, you have to pay for getting the records from the municipal place, and I think that it's just messed up because it's victimizing innocent people who their information is being misrepresented. It's defamation. It just pisses me off. Anyways, that's my video. If you guys know anything about what I've been talking about, if you could answer some of the questions I have, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.